raindrop falls, you touch my skin, a soft wind blows, I breathe you in, the night's embrace becomes your arms, as long as they hold me, and you're never really
Ascolto il vento per ore ed ore, gocce di memoria che fanno bene al cuore. L'amore ferma il tempo e poi fa giri infiniti, ma non ci abbandona.
If I could live a million lifetimes, in every one I know that you'd appear.
I close my eyes at night and see you're always
here, you're always here. Somewhere, always somewhere in my heart. Never will you ever be too I close my eyes at night and see you're here,
sempre qui.
with me.
Qui con me.
Here with me.
Almost go. Good evening, everybody. Giada here in Portogruaro, just outside Venice. Sunday, June 1st. Finally. And it's like the season, they really know when the summer has to arrive, because since yesterday, out of nothing, we had a lot of rain, the weather was kind of chilly. Yesterday morning, we woke up, sun was shining, and was suddenly warm like summer. We have a gazebo here in the garden where my parents are, and it was still a little bit covered, so we were having lunch and breakfast there because it was not cold but also not summer. And yesterday we needed to take everything out and have it just with the breeze coming in, otherwise it was like a sauna. So June 1st really is summertime. So how is everybody doing? I see a lot of people on the chat. As always, I see more eyes than people on the chat. So if you want me to know that you are there, because I can see your eyes, but I don't know who you are, you have to figure it out to find the chat and write a message like, hello. So let me see who is in the chat tonight, Sunday, June 1st, to say hello to all of us. Let JJ get me back to the chat. Here it is. We have Lorraine and Stefan all the way from Jersey. We have Doug and Susie. Good, Doug, that you're here. There's a song you love in a second. We have, and Doug and Susie are in South Carolina. Then we have Richard Unger all the way from Liverpool. We have Sal and Diane all the way from Vegas. We have Janet Sessa, our birthday girl. She's having her birthday. Yesterday was her birthday, so everybody can say happy birthday to our Italian signorina there in Jersey, too. And then we have Jeffrey. Jeffrey is, good evening, everybody, from Southern California. Here we go. Welcome to you too. And then we have JT. Good evening, everybody. If I remember correctly, from the New York area, right? And tonight we are gonna go. We are gonna have a bridge, Venice, Nashville, because I don't know if you guys were able to see, but tonight I'm gonna be joined for a chat, and then we're gonna have songs after that by Tim Wilgers. Tim Wilgers is, of course, a dear friend of mine, an amazing, amazing singer. I see he's calling in to say hello to everybody tonight. There is Timmy Boy. Can everybody see Tim already? Tim, can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me yet. Can you guys see Tim? He's taking his glasses on and off. No, he cannot hear us. That starts very great. Haha. I see Timmy is smiling. Maybe he's gonna call in again. So I spoke with Tim. Also, Tim, he said that in Nashville was finally good weather. We had a chat before to check the connections, and everything was working perfectly. So now we're having some. This reminds me of when do you remember we were doing the Giada live during COVID with all these guests I had? We did so many checks I had, and sometimes these things were happening. Hi, Timmy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Unfortunately, my AirPods aren't
I
working.
cannot
so
hear
hopefully
you
the dogs
though.
hopefully they don't bark too much and make too
Wait a
much noise.
second.
How are
I
you?
cannot hear you, Timmy. But it's JJ's problem. So hang on a second. He's trying to. I was just saying that we had during COVID when we did so many interview, we had sometimes this kind of problem. JJ's trying to get you in. So, guys. Tonight we have Tim. I guess you're hearing me. So Tim Wilgers is appearing all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, and it's Tim. Welcome, Janet is saying. And if you have question for Tim, I know you all know of Tim, his voice at least, because I've been playing the music and talk about the project I'm doing together with Tim, and how amazing is his voice. And of course, many of you came also to New York when Tim and I did our first show ever together. I know San and Diane, they were there. And Sami, that is not on the chat tonight, Sami came all the way. No, Sami didn't. Did Sami came? No. Deborah came all the way from Las Vegas. And Sami came to Utah, but Timmy Boy wasn't there. So, but anyway, Timmy joined me in New York. We did our first show together. It was a lot of fun. Tim had not performed in the longest time, but everybody was surprised of how pro he was. Of course, once you have it, you have it. And JJ is trying to arrange the sound. Tim, can you say something?
Something.
Timmy Boy said something in the way he
You got
moves.
me now.
Yes, we can hear you. And I think can everybody hear Tim? Yes, I can hear Tim. Everybody can hear you. How are you?
I am well. I'm hot. It's finally a nice sunny day. We've had 2 months of rain, it seems like, in Nashville. I didn't see it myself, but I heard somebody tell me that it was record rain for the months of April and May. So,
wow,
welcoming in the sunshine.
Wow. And I was saying, Tim, it's the same in Italy. Since yesterday, we have good weather, too. I don't know.
Yeah, good.
Yep, good. So, you had a vacation? Where did you go?
I did. We went to Branson, Missouri. So, being from Wichita, Kansas, Branson is roughly 5 hours from Wichita, and my dad's company that he worked for had a cabin in Branson. So that's where we spent most every 4th of July, going and doing some lake activities and going to the main strip in Branson. We had a great time. And of course, what did it do while we were there? It rained. But we got to enjoy the aquarium, and they had a Fritz Center, which is like a very huge ropes course. So the kids had a great time, and I enjoyed relaxing on the observation deck, watching them have a good time.
Yes, Guy, you know that Tim is father of two wonderful kids. And I got to meet them, and they are very, very nice. How old are the kids now?
They are, so they just wrapped up their school year. Lily is 14 going into high school, and Levi is 12. And they are 2 years apart to the day, believe it or not, the same
Wow.
exact birthday. So
Fantastic. You did a great job timing everything.
it's all me. Definitely all me.
That's Tim. He's timing everything. And by the way, I post this lyric video. I think it's your Lily. I hope it's. I think I asked you. And I posted a lyric video of me and Tim singing "How Was Here." And Lily wrote on, "Hey, that's my father you're singing with." And she said, "You're doing a great job singing together." I said, "Oh, Lily, is that you?" And I think it's Lily, right? Because sometimes there are people they fake like, but is Lily on YouTube?
She is on YouTube. She doesn't have an iPhone yet, and I don't have her downloaded. But she loves to just kind of listen to music on YouTube. That's where she started, and that's where she stayed for whatever reason. So she likes to watch her YouTube video playlist there, and it came across.
They're wonderful kids, of course. They always say the kids, the apple never fell down far away from trees, and they're very, very social. Your kids and very, very nice. I was a pleasure to meet them when I was in Nashville. So, Timmy, many people know me, of course. They see me every Sunday, but they don't see you all the time. So, I guess they have question for you. I was so lucky to have been there. Where have you been? A wonderful concert, in Utah. But you saw me. You missed the New York City concert because you missed Timmy when he was. We did the first show together. Salma, Tim is a dear friend of mine from Vegas. And she comes to all my show in Vegas, and she travels. She came to Utah, of course, hoping you were there, but you were not there. But I'm trying to get Tim to come to Vegas in October, I think. So finger crossed, guys, that we can get Timothy there. Is it October? Yeah, in October.
I don't know.
So,
Do they do trick or treating on the Strip in Vegas?
oh yeah, it's the night of Halloween. Oh shoot!
Halloween, yeah, I think so.
So unless we get you there with the kids,
You
it's
just
no go. Oh boy.
I don't know, or you have to bring me some candy, one or the other.
Well, we bring you candy. Guys, so his team is coming. Everybody should trick or treat him and bring him a lot of candy so he can bring the kids back so he can apologize to the kids for not having been a trick and treat with him all the way in Nashville, right? That can be a solution. So
That's it. Good. Thinking
let's
ahead.
see what people is asking. I have, so guys, if you have question for Tim, of course, Tim, where were you born? Because I know it, but
Yeah, Wichita, Kansas. So right smack dab, pretty much in the middle of the United States. Born and raised, lived there my most of my life until I moved to Nashville in 2000. So grew up playing golf and playing sports and doing all the boy things. And then music kind of took over my life when I got into high school. That's when I realized that the chicks dig it. So
that was the reason for.
that's it.
I never actually asked you because you have a beautiful voice. Sounds like you are classically trained, but you never train your voice classically, like operatic.
I didn't. I went to college, so I tried to at Wichita State. I tried to walk on to the golf team, but I went on a vocal music scholarship. And when the instructor found out that I was trying on for the golf team, he said, "You've got to choose one or the other." So I chose music. Um, and I did do some training in college, but not much because I had spent the 3 years in high school learning how to love country music for the first time. I never, Dad listened to all the oldies, all the 50s and the 60s music, and I never really got into music until I heard Garth Brooks' "The Dance," and that's what got me into country music. And then my high school teacher was a huge James Taylor fan, so I love James Taylor and his music. I'm actually going to see him when he comes to Nashville here in September, so I'm excited about that. But
Cool.
yeah, but anyway, so I started doing all the voice lessons and what have you, and it just wasn't for me because I enjoyed it. I sang in choir, my entire life, but when they are getting mad at you for not having proper placement of the tongue against the back of the teeth, and my jaw is too tight and everything. Mm-mm.
I always say that I took classical lessons until very, very briefly because my grandmother was into that kind of music, and I think a month. And then, of course, I was a mezzo, so my voice was lower. And the only aria for mezzo is the Carmen. And I remember the lady was trying to teach me, ta, 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 da, 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 ta, ta. And then she said, and then you have to breathe. I said, no, I can keep it longer. No, it's written here. You have to breathe. I went home and I said to Grandma, I want to breathe and sing. I want to be free. That's not for me because you're right. Everything is like tied in the classical thing. But hey.
Yes.
So, and it's funny that you mentioned country music because, you know, I'm Italian. So country music is so far from Italy, right? But I love it too. And you mentioned Garth Brooks. It's funny. So, guys, you should know that when we are working with two superstar of country music, right? Brent Mayer and Mike Reed, and they are trying to have Tim and I to stay as far as possible from country music. We both love it. And oh, that's a nice picture. Have you seen that picture, Tim, of you? That's when you were singing actually by yourself. The Mike Reed song. Which song did you sing in New York from Mike Reed?
Yeah, Forever is as far as I'll go. Beautiful song that was done by Alabama, and I love everything that song has to say. It's just a beautiful. It was my favorite song since my junior year in high school.
Wow. That's funny because Mike Reed's song was one of your favorite songs. So how did you get to meet Mike Reed? It must have been magical when you met one of your idols.
It was for sure. So first off, I saw him. He came to Wichita back when, because he had some singles. He was a country music guy, had a few singles, and he came to Wichita and sang at Century 2. And he was a former football player for the Cincinnati Bengals, All Pro. He's a big boy. He's got some big piano playing hands, doesn't he, Giada?
Oh yeah.
But before that, they were big tackling hands.
Yeah.
So he was very good at what he did, but he loved music, and I'm glad that he got into it. So anyway, I saw him at Century 2 play, and he threw out footballs. That was kind of his thing at the end of his show. He threw out mini footballs, and I caught one of his footballs, and that was such a big deal for me because he was Mike Reed. He wrote Forever's as far as I'll go. So yes, when I met him, I met Brent actually after I sang at a wedding where I sang the prayer. And that's how I got to working with Brent. And Brent said, hey, I've got a guy that we need to write. I think he would be great on this project. He's a phenomenal lyricist and even better at melodies. So he said his name. I was like, oh, my goodness. And he said, I've got you set up to have breakfast or go have a coffee with him at Starbucks next week. And so I walked in, and there's Mike Reed. And I'm like, man, I got to tell you. So, and then they say, you never want to meet your idols, which, he wasn't an idol, but I loved him. You never want to meet, the people that you idolize, if you will. And he couldn't be further from the truth. He's just salt of the earth, man. He is such a good guy.
Yeah, it's really a remarkable, both of them, Brent and Mike. I'm always say they are both incredible human beings to start with. And of course, the rest is they made music history. But every time they tell us what they have done, we are like, whoa. And it's funny that you have that story of Mike Reed. For me, my story of Mike Reed, because of my accent when I sing in English, my musical director at the time, that's us in the studio, wonderful time there rehearsing. So my musical director for 10 years in New York was this guy from a dear friend of mine, Etienne, and he always said, I wanted to sing because I can make you love me. And he always said, oh no, you're not going to screw up that song with your accent because that song is untouchable. It's from, and it's funny. So now we recorded together, of course, they made me sing it in Italian, but it's funny. Yeah, so we all had a Mike Reed story, actually. So anyway, let me see if people are having questions. I see they're writing. Can you see the chat, Tim, or no?
I cannot, no, unfortunately.
Oh, no. We'll see you in Vegas. Salma is hoping you're coming to Vegas. I said, they bring you candy, Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have arranged. You're going to bring a van full of candy if you come to Vegas. The words is out. But it's funny. So, I I tell people all the time, I'm being lucky enough to meet many singers, male singer, to sing with many male singers, classically trained or not even. And Tim, I always say, you are one of the most easiest to work with because a little bit like me, you don't need 3 hours warming up. Basically, Tim's warm up is 0, just like mine. We appear and we sing, which for me is fantastic because they stress me out. Once I remember I needed to do one song with a gentleman, a dear friend of mine actually. We share the same family name at in New York, and he needed to warm up like for 2 hours in a closet. And I'm like, it stressed me out, you know. And I'm like, it's like running the marathon before you do the marathon, and then, but yeah. So you're basically you have this amazing gift. I'm always say, and you have the most beautiful voice. You know, I'm one of your the huge fans of your voice. I'm always say to everybody, I think I've never raved for somebody's voice as your voice. It's the tone, that it's everything is beautiful. And then I got to meet him because first I've heard the voice, and then I got to meet him. Just you're very nice. You're very kind. You're a Southern boy.
Yeah, well, the feeling is mutual. It was really nice to be in the studio, and I think our voices blend very well together. And same. I mean, it's just you guys already know this. Her voice, it sounds just the same in the studio. It is spot on. It was so easy to work.
So you and apparently we're very good in harmonize. I mean, I always love to harmonize, and Tim and I, we just looked at each other. Somehow we know one goes up, one go low, and it's very easy. Actually, Mike Reed gave us that compliment, and Brent Mayer always say that it's quite, for us it's easy, right? But they always said, well, that's kind of talent. So that's actually nice. I see people writing, what are they saying? Oh, they're wishing happy birthday to Janet. So we have a woman with us from New Jersey, Janet Sessa, Tim, and yesterday was her birthday. So wish her happy birthday. Come on, she will love it.
To you.
Longer.
Happy to you. Actually, we'll do the other one. Well, yesterday was your birthday, that's what I've been told. What a wonderful birthday, you're another year old. On the cake there's a candle all lighted for you. And the whole world is singing happy birthday to you.
What about that, Janet Sessa? Of course, you're going to get a song later for me, but this was All For You by Tim Wilgers, ladies and gentlemen. I never heard this one. What kind of song is this one, Tim?
That's just a different version of it, huh? It's a little more fun, not the traditional happy birthday.
Love that. Oh, we have with us also Antonio Argentieri talking about sweets. Antonio is Italian like me, but he lives in Dublin, and he's a very famous pastry chef. Very, very well known. He works in one of the greatest restaurants in Dublin. He's been on the Italian television many times, and he's here with us. Hi Giada, hi JJ, and Antonio. Oggi abbiamo anche Tim con noi, Tim Wilgers. And he was, he came to New York to see us, and then remember, unfortunately, he had a tragedy in his family. He had to leave the day before a concert. So,
thank you so much.
Janet says, thank you so much, Tim. Yeah. Well, you're gonna meet Antonio. It's you're gonna love him. He's one of the kindest friends I have, and he's just as sweet as the desserts he makes. And he's gonna make some dessert for us. So Tim and I, we are on a diet, right? We have to film this PBS special. So every time we meet each other, we are on a diet. We never started, but we are always on a diet. But Tim, I was preparing some picture of us. Look at us. We're always
That's
eating.
a good diet, right?
Good diet, right? That's Tim
That's
actually
my
having
diet.
this is risking our life in the middle of the street in New York City, but there is more food. Look at that, JJ. Can you show more food? Yeah, that's us singing. That's what we do too when we are not eating. This was rehearsal at the Smash Studio. This is the end of rehearsal with those guys. By the way, I'm trying to get Tim also to come in July to Long Island. And Tim, you're going to have the same musicians. So they were, are they coming? Look at us, eating a hot dog that Tim bought. I said, I want to have a $1 hot dog. And Tim said, let's buy it. And before you knew, we were eating. JJ was having it too. So we talk about diet because we need in our business. But then we're always eating, Tim. I don't know.
Live once, Giada.
And look at that. That's your family. So I was realizing we're really Italian. We talk and we eat, and then we bring family wherever we go. So you could be Italian.
There you go.
Oh boy, boy, oh boy. That's funny. So I cannot wait to get Tim to Italy. You've never been to Italy, right?
I have not. I have not. So when I there was a time where I worked on the cruise ships, and I was working in the Caribbean, and the ship that I was on, they asked for a second tour, but I had a country thing actually come up in Nashville that I went and was a part of. And of course, hindsight 2020, I regret it now because I would have had 6 months in the Mediterranean, which would have been lovely. It wouldn't have been Italy, but it was. Well, I take that back. It would have been. Yeah, I think we would have stopped. So it would have been nice, but wasn't meant
You're
to be.
coming
Next
to
time.
Italy, Tim, because I'm working to get you to Italy. Actually, I wanted to get you to Italy in September when I do the trip to Italy. I'm trying to get it. So, guys, this is the thing: traveling to Nashville is expensive, so we need sponsor to pay for a Timmy boy travel. We had a gentleman with us that unfortunately passed away, Roger Scallion, would have paid for the travel in a bit. We lost him last January. So, but anyway, so we're working on all things. I want to bring actually Tim and your kids, everybody to Italy, and maybe your family. Who knows? You're going to love Italy. Anyways, I think it's already time that Tim needs to go. Tim, what are you doing today? I know you have a busy day there in Nashville.
I can't stay on because I'd rather do this than spring cleaning, mowing the yard, and I have to open up the pool. I still have
Tim
to
has chicken. How many chicken do you have?
29 chickens, Giada.
So every time I go to Nashville, I always have eggs. I love the eggs from the chicken. Man, how many? Oh my gosh! Yeah, he's a country boy.
Yeah, we get about a dozen a day. These days, that's gold.
Yes, gold. Yeah, you can sell them on a market and ask quite some money for it. There you go. Got an idea out there. So anyway, it was so wonderful to have you here with us. I'm sure everybody would love to hear you sing. There is a delay, so we cannot sing together. They have to come and see us when we do a concert. Hopefully in July, if I can get him to Long Island, and then in September, in October, and then when we have the PBS filmed and running, we are going to be doing a tour all around the United States, so everybody can see us, right? That's the planning. Yeah.
That's the plan.
So, Tim, I'm going to see you in July for sure because I'm coming to Nashville.
Yeah.
We're going to touch base for all the other stuff that we're doing. And what can I say? Have a nice day there with the kids, the chicken in Nashville paradise. And thank you for being with us. We
Good
should
to see you.
we should do it once a month so they get to know you more.
Deal. It's a deal.
Okay. So
All right.
I'll see you soon, Tim. Always a joy. Give
right,
my
take
love to
care.
the kids too. Bye, Tim.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Ciao, Tim. Tim Wilgers, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys wrote a lot of message there. So happy to see you on the chat, and we'll see you in September, Tim. Yeah, right? We are trying to arrange all these things, of course. Every time to move Tim, of course, he needs to arrange babysitting for the kids. If he cannot take the kids with him, it's always... And travels is very costly, but, I mean... Surely it's wonderful to work with him, and it's always such a joy to you saw. I wanted you to know more of Tim. You hear me talk about Tim all the time, but you never, unless you were in New York City, got to meet him. And he's such as lovable as his voice is, and he's very handsome. I know. Ciao, Tim. Janet is saying. Ciao, Janet. You had a treat. You were serenaded by Tim Wilgers. Not only. So before we go on with more chit chat to tell you what I did this week, Janet Sessa had her birthday yesterday, and of course, Tim serenaded her with that nice happy birthday. I've never heard. I have to learn it. Actually, it was very lovely. But I need to sing a song myself to wish happy birthday to our Janet Sessa. She loved the Carpenters. She loves all my songs, but I know she loves the Carpenters. She loves even my Italian Signorina. But I decided to dedicate for you to wish you happy birthday today, Janet. One of the Carpenter songs that you only asked me because I never sang it on stage, only here on the Giada Love Song Sunday. Here is Superstar to wish Janet Sessa happy birthday. All for you. We love you. I surely do.
long ago, and oh so far away, I fell in love with you before the second show. Your guitar, it sounds so sweet and clear, but you're not really here. It's just the radio. Don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? You said you would coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you, I really do. Loneliness is such a sad affair, and I can hardly wait to be with you again. What to say to make you come again, come back to me again, and play your sad guitar. Don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? You said you would coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you, I really do. Don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? You said you were coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you, I really do.
Happy birthday, dear Janet Sessa. Her birthday was yesterday. But we are celebrating her today. Actually, you said that you were with friends celebrating a party, so unless your friends are there with you or you're going later with your friends, wherever it is, Janet, I want you to have a magnificent day. You know, the sun is always shining, and even when there are clouds, there is always sunshine behind the clouds. This I remind you, Janet, and everybody, every time. So, somebody's writing a book. Giada, my mom is with me and sends you one greeting and thank you for everything you have done for me in New York together with Sal and Deborah. So happy, la tua mamma è lì con te, la mamma di Antonio è lì. Signora, lei ha fatto un figlio meraviglioso che io adoro, adoriamo tutti qui nel Circle of Love e signora spero che lei stia benissimo. E allora adesso con la prossima canzone voglio cantare una serenata anche a lei. Perché tu la lasci spesso per andare in Irlanda. So the mother of Antonio is there with Antonio. She was thanking me for what we have done for Antonio. And I want to dedicate this next song, actually, that was for you, Antonio. I always hope you popped up. It's called, of course, Fiorella Mannoia, Il cielo d'Irlanda. E questa sera la voglio dedicare alla tua mamma. I want to dedicate this song also to Antonio's mom because Irlanda take him away from her all the time. So here is Fiorella Mannoia, Il cielo d'Irlanda per Antonio e la sua mamma. Antonio, dimmi il nome della tua mamma. Here we go.
Il cielo d'Irlanda è un oceano di nuvole e luce, il cielo d'Irlanda è un tappeto che corre veloce, il cielo d'Irlanda i tuoi occhi, se guardi lassù, ti annega di verde, ti copre di blu, ti copre di verde, ti annega di blu. Il cielo d'Irlanda si sfama di muschio e di lana, il cielo d'Irlanda si spulcia i capelli alla luna, il cielo d'Irlanda è un gregge che pascola in cielo, si ubriaca di stelle di notte e il mattino è leggero, si ubriaca di stelle e il mattino è leggero. Dal Donegal alle isole Aran e da Dublino fino al Connemara, dovunque tu stia viaggiando con zingari e re, il cielo d'Irlanda si muove con te, il cielo d'Irlanda è dentro di te. Il cielo d'Irlanda è un enorme cappello di pioggia, il cielo d'Irlanda è un bambino che dorme sulla spiaggia, il cielo d'Irlanda a volte fa il mondo in bianco e nero, ma dopo un momento i colori li fa brillare più del vero, ma dopo un momento li fa brillare più del vero. Il cielo d'Irlanda è una donna che scambia spesso d'umore, il cielo d'Irlanda è una gonna che gira nel sole, il cielo d'Irlanda è Dio che suona la fisarmonica, si apre e si chiude col ritmo della musica, si apre e si chiude col ritmo della musica. Dal Donegal alle isole Aran e da Dublino fino al Connemara, dovunque tu stia ballando con zingari o re, il cielo d'Irlanda si muove con te, il cielo d'Irlanda è dentro di te. Dovunque tu stia ballando con zingari o re, il cielo d'Irlanda è dentro di te, il cielo d'Irlanda è dentro di te, il cielo d'Irlanda si muove con te, il cielo d'Irlanda è dentro di te. E questa era per Antonio e per la sua mamma. This was for Antonio and for his mom. I hope you guys were dancing and having a good time. But so, my mom, his name is Rosa, quindi per mamma Rosa, che bel nome, proprio come le rose, la mamma Rosa, la mia, che bello, le mamme hanno sempre questi nomi bellissimi. So I've been here in Italy actually, so Antonio, you're in Italy too if you are with your mamma, con mamma Rosa, siete in Italia anche voi. So the weather is getting better and we did a lot of events. So this week I was invited by my dear friend Mirika, who built one of the most beautiful place here in time. Is a spa, is a gym and a pool. It was the opening of the pool, was a pool party, and I was invited with Jade. That's Marika, the one with the Marika, the girl with the green suit. In a minute, there's my friend Evelina, and that's me, of course. That was at the end of the party. And there I'm with Massimo Vello. Massimo Vello is this amazing designer that lives here in our town, but actually he's very famous. He makes all these beautiful suits. And if you saw the parade, the Columbus Day parade last year, I was wearing a Massimo Vello homemade suit. He made suit also for big Italian brands.
And of course, but easier from Portogruaro. For the one of you that are coming to Portogruaro, if you are lucky enough, I will take you upstairs to see his showrooms where he makes these amazing homemade clothes, just pure art. And I adore him. He's a dear, dear friend. Then yesterday, JJ also showed you a glimpse. I went to a place only 20 minutes from here in Ceggia. It's all these little villages outside Venice of my friend Margherita. Margherita Franchin lives in Rome, but actually she owns also this villa. This is her second home where she comes here outside Venice. She used it, of course, to organize weddings and party, and we were invited to a book reading, a very interesting book reading, and that's actually it's the Barchessa, so that's not the house, that's the space where she does the party, because the other place you saw is where she lives with, I don't know how many bedrooms. It was very beautiful. She have a beautiful garden rose, and very calming. They even have a chapel. Look at that. We went to walk all around. It's so beautiful. And places like this, there are so many beautiful places like this just outside Venice, Italy. And, you know, I organized, that's the chapel they have, where actually they cannot consecrate weddings, but they have they can do a Sunday mass, but they cannot celebrate weddings somehow. And that's me walking around. I had a greatest time. It's the sound of the birds. The weather was just perfect. And after that, we went for pizza at the house of one of the friends of Margherita and Evelina. That's the lady that take care of the property. She was showing me, because of course you see the place. I don't know if Tim is still watching the Giada Live, but of course it's a place where they do also concerts. And of course, you know where I'm going. We are talking about doing some concert outdoor and indoor, also in the beautiful Villa Franchin, and maybe also something along the line for the American television. But anyway, for the one of you join me for my trip to Italy in September, I think we have still space for one couple or two couple, not much. Two couples, but so it's a go anyway with one we have. But if you're watching and you still want to join me to see Venice, but then to see all the beauty that is around the Hemingway Lagoon and villas like this, and have food and drinks, and visit a winery and have just a quiet, wonderful vacation and really see what Italy is all about, then you have to join me in one of my trip. The next one is in September. And that actually is also, that's a car that Cary Grant and Marilyn Monroe were in the movies. What kind of car was that? Sal, you know which car is that? Is it an MG or something? It's an MG. It's an MG for 1950. And my new friend, Alvise, owns a lot of cars. And that, of course, was my favorite. The cars is made of wood. He started the car, and that's the group of friends where there's Margherita in the middle, then next to me Evelina wearing red, and then the rest of the car. Next to the middle lady there is Carlo, the guy that wrote this beautiful book. There is a lady, I don't remember her name, then there is a psychologist, and further on the left, that's Alvise, is the pharmacist of Ceggia, the place we were. He has many pharmacy, and he owns these collections of cars. We had pizza on his place. I had a wonderful time. We were all new people beside Evelina and Margherita, old friends from school 60 years ago. No, 60 is too much. 50 years ago, because they are in the 70s. We had an amazing time. They knew each other inside out. What else did I do? I also went to a wonderful event of the Vice Mayor of Portogruaro, Michele Lipani, is the husband of Evelina, invited to a wonderful event that we attended about the Futurismo. The Futurismo was this movement in 1900 all over the world, and one of the founder of the Futurismo was Luigi Russolo, and he was born in Portogruaro. So for the one of you that will come to Portogruaro, that was the beautiful lecture the guy did about the Futurismo. I don't know what is in English. I mean, how in 1900 already they look at that would be shared. We have in Italy a singer, Antonio, tu lo conosci, Achillo Lauro. He was wearing that outfit, but that outfit actually was from 1904 and 1907. So they were so much ahead of time, of course. Everybody thought they were crazy, but actually they were just envisioning the future. They wanted to wear a gilet. You see, everybody was wearing black and a tuxedo, and they envisioned already, and they made actually a collections with this colorful piece of outfits they wore. In 1900, they were talking about food that to slim the body. So they were against the pasta asciutta, the pasta, and they were already thinking about people will go on the moon, and we went on the moon. So they were so far ahead of time. And this movement was all over the world, of course. But one of the founders in Italy was Luigi Russolo, and he was born in Portogruaro, and he revolutionized the music because they said the sound was not music, and he invented something that changed music. It's called the intona rumori, something that intonate, the tune, the sounds. And I had the fortune we have one here at the museum, and I went to see it, and even I took a picture. Now that's me in Portogruaro, and even I went to play the intona rumori. You go on the back, and you turn like something like this, and this machine, the JJ is trying to find it, that you can see it. You can find it, it's in there, JJ will find it. It makes not even music, it does like vroom, vroom, vroom. But that was sound, and he said, it made music actually with intona rumori and changed the way people envisioned music. Anyway, that was my week. I did actually something else. I went to something dear to the heart of Diane. We went to Trieste. We went also to Trieste. JJ will show you. No, okay, first I do another song, and then I'm going to show you Trieste, because Trieste is a magnificent place, an hour from me, and there's where Diane's mom was born and raised. So I think we had still with us Doug and Susie. I know you guys love this song. Diane said she's going tonight to see Rod Stewart with Sammy in Las Vegas, and Rod Stewart actually recorded this song, and I always sing it for Doug and Susie. So Doug, if you're still there, tonight this song is for you. Rod Stewart sang it so magnificently, beautifully, and hopefully I'm going to do a good job too. Here it is. Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. You're lovely with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fear apart. And that laugh, that wrinkle your nose, touches my foolish heart. You're lovely, never ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it, 'cause I love you just the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fear apart. And that laugh, that wrinkle your nose, touches my foolish heart. You're lovely, don't you ever change. Keep that bracelet charm. Won't you please arrange it, 'cause I love you just the way you look tonight.
tonight. Oh, just the way you look tonight. Just the way you look tonight. Many singers, of course, have recorded this song, from Frank Sinatra to so many, many more. But of course, for me tonight was thinking about Rod Stewart, which I do love, and he did an album with all these standards, and was very nice to hear his raspy voice singing this song. So Diane and Sammy are going to see Rod Stewart tonight in Vegas. I hope he's going to sing this song. And if you see him backstage, said Giada sang it too. I love Rod Stewart. My Rod Stewart story is this. So once I was having breakfast at Le Pain Quotidien in Los Angeles with Monica Mancini and what is his name? And Greg Fields. And Clint Holmes was there. And so we are having this breakfast. And then who walks in? Steve Terrell walks in. We were meeting Steve Terrell, the famous producer, of course, that worked also with Burt Bacharach. Steve Terrell walks in, and I had invited him for coffee, so we sit down to have breakfast with us, and he said, you know, unfortunately, I had arranged also for Rod Stewart to come, but unfortunately this morning he was out of town. He didn't came back in time, too late last night for Vegas, wherever he was having a show in Vegas. Otherwise, he would have loved to join us for breakfast. And I was like, excuse me? And he said, yeah, he lived just across the street. I was starstruck, of course, already by Steve Terrell, now a dear friend, but that time was the first time. And I was like, you mean that I could have had Rod Stewart here with me having breakfast? That's the magic of music. So one day I'm going to meet him, and that's going to be my story for Rod Stewart. Said, you set me up the first time around. So JT say beautiful. Everybody write beautiful compliment. I saw that also Alejandra joined us all the way from South America. Alejandra, you missed Tim Wilgers in the beginning of the show. There was Tim Wilgers with me, my partner in music. We do all these shows together, and we are pulling through this PBS special. And yes, before we go to maybe the last song, if we have time, or just a chit chat, I went to Trieste. So Diane is from Trieste. I was invited. I'm good friend with this famous singer here in Italy called Paul. His artistic name was Mal and the Primitives. He came all the way from England in the 60s. He was actually also invited to come to Vegas. I want to write a blog about it, because he was invited to Vegas when Elvis Presley was a big thing. He was super charming, good-looking man. And he did a couple of shows at where Elvis was, and they invited him to stay to Vegas, but he wanted to come back to Europe. Actually, good thing he did, because he married his wife and he built his family here. But he always say, I could have been the next Elvis Presley. So his name is Paul. The real name is spelled Cooley, but of course we know him as Mal. And he has a book about his life story, just turned 81. And he did a book reading in Trieste in Caffè degli Specchi, which is the main bar in the big piazza of Trieste. The guy in the middle there with a blue shirt with the microphone is Paul. Next, there is a journalist who was interviewing him, and next to him on the right side is Renata, his beautiful wife and dear friends of mine. And so we had a cup of coffee, and the owner actually of Caffè degli Specchi is Giuseppe and Anna. They were so nice. They host, of course, the event, and they were so nice with coffee and drinks and all kind of appetizer. And soon after that, they say, let's go and have dinner. So I said, okay, we join you for dinner. So we went to a place, another place in Trieste that is an iconic place in the city of Trieste, because it's like hundreds of years old. Antico Ristorante Tommaseo. So we walked in, and he had arranged a big table there with all our friends. And of course, you know me, I walked and I was like, this is a beautiful place. And then he said, do you guys love this table? So Giuseppe and Anna were showing the table. And then I sit down, and the chef comes out, and he said, well, we're going to eat. And then I look at Giuseppe, I said, excuse me, but is this place also yours? He said, yes, this is mine too. So basically I was sitting with somebody that owns
some of the most iconic place of the city of Trieste. Very kind, wonderful people. They were celebrating also that day they also had bought a palace to live, because they live in Pordenone. It's another city where he owns another iconic place called Perotoner, which one of these days I have to go and take a video. It's an iconic place for coffee, where the people that join me in September for coffee, I'm going to take you there, because it's the most elegant place you have ever been for coffee and tea. So Giuseppe owns that one. He owns Caffè degli Specchi, and he just bought also l'Antica Ristorante Tomaseo, and he bought I thought he said a house, but then I understood that it's more than a house, because it was actually a big place where there was something very important before him. I don't want to say what, but anyways, something major. And they are the nicest people. And so, yeah, JJ shows a picture. And funny, that's my dearest friend from Portogruaro, Carla Rainero. Me and Carla, we've been best friends ever since we were children. And she happened to work just behind. That's the actually is the Palazzo della Regione, is the palace of the region Friuli Venezia Giulia, where the president is. And she works just, you see the yellow place there behind? She works at one of the most exclusive hotel of Trieste, the Savoia, Excelsior Savoia. She has a wonderful job there. And so I invited her to come to the event of Paul, and of course Giuseppe and Anna, as I told you, they were so nice. They said, bring your friends to the restaurant too. So we went all together to the restaurant. And as you can see, this was after dinner. We walked together, Carla and us, and it had rained. So the floor was very wet and the weather was nice, but Trieste, it's beautiful. Unfortunately, the weather was not the best that day, because normally when the sun is shining, for instance, if you go now, the sunset on the bay of Trieste, on the sea there, is just one of the most spectacular you may have ever seen. There is even a castle far away that you can see, Il Castello di Miramare. Doug, you will love it. Doug and Susie, you guys should join me on one of my trips at some point, because you love all the stuff I'm showing, and it's going to be nice and relaxed. So think about it. Put it on the back of your head. All of you guys should join me at some point. Anyway, so Trieste was magical. And that's what we did. So there is time for another song, or we are ready to go? So how many minutes do we have? I'm going to read all your messages later. We have 3 minutes, so shall we do this song, or we do it now? Yeah. Well, yeah, I take you to France. I took you to Trieste. I took you to Nashville. We close with this song. This song is L'Hymne à l'amour, the Edith Piaf. And, of course, if you saw the Olympic Games, Celine Dion sang this song on the top of the Tour Eiffel. And, I mean, you know how I adore her. So, written by Edith Piaf, for Edith Piaf. And today is L'Hymne à l'amour, which is the hymn to love. And I want to leave you with a French song about love. And then we're going to do the final goodbye. But first, this song. En français. Sì, Piazza dell'Unità.
Le ciel bleu sur nous peut s'effondrer, et la terre peut bien s'écrouler. Peu m'importe si tu m'aimes, je me fous du monde entier. Tant que l'amour inondera mes matins, tant mon corps frémira sur ta main. Peu m'importe le problème, mon amour, puisque tu m'aimes. J'irai jusqu'au bout du monde, je me ferai teindre en blonde, si tu me le demandais. J'irai décrocher la lune, j'irai voler la fortune, si tu me le demandais. Je régnerai ma patrie, je régnerai mes amis, si tu me le demandais. Oh, pour bien rire de moi, je ferais n'importe quoi si tu me le demandais. Si un jour la vie t'arrache-moi, si tu meurs, qu'il soit loin de moi, peu m'importe si tu m'aimes, quand moi je mourrai aussi. Nous aurons pour nous l'éternité dans le bleu de toute l'immensité, dans le ciel plus des problèmes. Mon amour, crois-tu qu'on Dieu réunit ceux qui s'aiment. L'hymne à l'amour, Edith Piaf, of course, one of my idols. Celine Dion sang it fantastically at her return to the scene after her being so sick. So it's always a joy for me to sing this song. This is a beautiful song to do with the Utah Southwest Symphonic Orchestra. Next time, I'd forgotten about this song. Sometimes I picked up this song. So wonderful rendition. Thank you so much, Doug. It's always tough to sing sitting on a chair, and I did it in the original key of Edith Piaf and Celine Dion, which is nice. Sometimes you need to push yourself, right, to go over the limit. So it was a wonderful Love Song Sunday for me. I was so happy that you got to meet Tim Wilgers all the way from Nashville. If you're watching, Tim, thank you so much for always being there when I ask you to appear. I have to work to have him and do more concerts together. It's a joy to work with him. Up for me this week, actually, we start a rehearsal for the concert, the June 14th. I'm going to be performing at the beautiful Nicolini Theater in the center of Florence, one of the 1,000 years old theater for my friends Hershey Felder and his friends all the way from America. But of course, if you are in Florence, you can buy tickets. You can go to nicolinitheater.com, I think, and otherwise you go on my website and you find a link. If you are in Florence or if you are in Italy, you want to come, please come. June 14th, rehearsal this week. Then what else is coming up, JJ? This week we also have, tomorrow is Festa della Repubblica, is Italian Republic Day. So national anthem tomorrow, Italian national anthem. We'll be posting on social media. Please share it and reshare it, our Republic Day. And next Sunday, are we going to be here? Next Sunday, I'm going to still be here, God willing, and I'm going to be doing another Love Song Sunday. Happy birthday again to Janet Sessa. Welcome to each and every one of you. Diane and Sal were with us. Frank Giordano was with us. Nice to be Janet Sessa. Happy birthday, Doug and Susie, Lorraine and Stephen, Sal, I think Antonio was here. On the chat, of course, there's more people. La mia mamma e il mio papà dall'altra stanza. Mamma Rosa di Antonio. Alejandra, all the way from South America. And Richard Hunger from, of course, all the way from England. JT were with us. So many people were with us. So raise your hands with the I love you in American Sign Language. And I'm going to be seeing you all next Sunday, same time, same place. Let's stay connected. And guys, I really do love you. Thank you for being with me. Ciao. Dankeschön, dear old Dankeschön. Thank you for seeing me again. Though I'm here in my solitude, I know you are there, and in my heart I smile again, and so I sing here in my solitude, waiting to see you, same time, same place, and I can't wait to say again, Dankeschön, Dankeschön, Dankeschön.